Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today I have the Swagman XC2 2-bike platform rack, and we'll take a look at how it fits our 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. So the XC2 is pretty popular because of how affordable and entry-level it is, where you still get the stability of a platform rack without having to spend too much. So if you're looking for a bike rack where you don't have to pay extra for those bells and whistles that you may not need, this is the one that you would start with. But with this bike rack, of course, it also has its downsides. Like, you don't get those premium features like tilting away or included locks. And if you did want to secure your bikes and or your rack, those are things you'd have to purchase separately. Now, talking about the Wagoneer though, with how it works with this vehicle, it actually creates a nice stable platform for your bikes to get them from point A to point B without too much extra work. So what types of bikes can this carry? Well, it can carry up to 35 pounds per bike, which is pretty normal for your entry platform racks. And you have this frame mount that secures the frame. If you happen to have a step-through bike and even some kids' bikes, you may need to get a separate frame adapter bar for those. But those wheels are held in by the wheel hoops, and when you want to take the bike off, you just start over by the frame mount. Press the button, lift this up, and I like to put it over to this side so it's out of the way of our spokes. So once that's off, you have two options here. You can lift the bike up and over the mast, or you can just pull this pin in the center and push the mast away from your pedals. That way it could fully lower, and all you need to do is a slight lift and you are down to the ground. With how high the hitch is on a Wagoneer, this actually doesn't sit as high as the other bike racks, which is good because then you're not having to lift as high. The wheel hoops that hold those tires in they do have a width capacity of up to 2.5 inches. So that will fit most of your road bikes and mountain bikes. For your fat tire bikes though, you may want to take a look at something that has a wider capacity. These can actually be replaced. They can also be adjusted back and forth. So when you loosen these knobs here, this can move over to the end for a maximum wheelbase of 52 inches. Now, I'm going to go keep this down to show you how to open up the hatch. So with the bike off, we now have access to our trunk. So if we had, waters, our helmets, our backpacks back here, now's the time that we could grab them or put away our groceries. It was a little bit of a bummer that we had to take the bike off completely, but that is normal for most bike racks that cannot tilt away, as well as even some of the ones that do. Because the door of the Wagoneer is pretty big, some bike racks don't tilt away far enough to get that access anyways. Once the mast is back up and you've secured it with a pin, and lining up the holes might be the trickiest part, you can then put these handles or hooks back on. So do the closest hook first, and then the furthest hook away. This can also fold up to be more compact for when you want to store it inside of your garage, or you could even take the whole bike rack off and put it inside your trunk. That's how small it is. And in fact, from the end of our vehicle, which is the bumper, to the end of the rack, that's only 21 inches of space it takes up. Although with your bikes on, the handlebars will stick out further. If you have a small garage, since you already have a big vehicle, this is going to be something that's more compact for you to help save on space. For ground clearance, that's from the wheel hoops to the ground, 26.5 inches. Compare that to our hitch, which is 21 inches from the ground. And this is going to be the height you're going to have to lift your bike up to get into or onto the rack. This does not fold up either, so the closest you're going to get is to putting that mast down to be more compact or neat. You could also fold the trays up this way, but it's going to be the same distance overall, no matter what. This fits into your 2-inch hitch receiver. It does have an anti-rattle bolt, but that bolt does not have a lock on the end. Check out the add-on accessories we have mentioned here on our product page if you want to look for ways you could add onto your rack. But for a simple, no-nonsense bike rack, that's where the Swagman XC2 comes in handy. I like it as a good foundation for making sure your bikes are carried safely from point A to point B. Compared to a hanging rack, you know your bikes are not swinging towards your vehicle. In fact, instead, they are held in place by this rack. So from here onwards, you can then go look towards other racks that maybe have more weight capacity, can tilt away, and you can find all of them here at eTrailer. But this right here right now was a look at the Swagman XC2 2-bike platform rack on the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer.
This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway.